My aim is to provoke debate more from the focus on elections and related disinformation, themes that I've been worked since 2014 European elections very intensively. But let's take a bit of speed from the US, because let's see that, okay, Trevor had a very good presentation here, but when we are talking about elections, we should be observing extremely carefully now what is happening in the US in view of the 2020 presidential elections. That's going to be very dirty and benchmark for all new forms of disinformation and election interference that requires action very soon after here in Europe. I think your countrymen in Poland would have been already very happy about that. In this regard, I'm especially worried about the impact of audiovisual manipulations, including the famous deepfakes, but especially when they are properly micro-targeted in the social media platforms. And we have some very worrying cases already in Europe on this one as well. In this regard, the current digital age champions, the dominant social media or the advertisement platforms, as I see them from the democracy point of view, will and should remain under pressure. The US elections will be a social media elections, and so will be all the elections from this on. But so back to Europe. We just about survived the 2019 European elections and remained operational to protect our democracies for these next challenges. But I would say that the latest, the 2024 European Parliament elections, will measure both the success of this legislature but also the success of EU digital response to these advanced threats. The forward agenda, as I know, the Democracy Action Plan, is to be built already in 100 days led by Commissioner Jourova, and we need to contribute all by February with a rescue plan to avoid this. Related in the short slot, I raised 3 key challenges and followed by 3 actions on how EU should safeguard democracy in the digital age. Challenge 1, results. EU needs to deliver tangible results to citizens and demonstrate the value added of transnational democracy. We cannot blame everything on digital. I mean, we have to just make our democracies work in real life, and this needs a huge amount of cooperation and goodwill. We need to fix the internet. EU needs to be enable privacy and media innovation to rebuild trust. We need to ensure plurality and awareness. We need to ensure plurality of journalistic media while scaling up measurable digital media literacy efforts in a massive scale. Massive scale came from the report that the high-level group that I had a chance to participate tabled in the report. And that's not an easy task, especially as this is mostly member state driven activities, education, I mean. So we have a lot of work to all of us, but this is crucial, as you can imagine. So what about the 3 key actions as I see them? Yes, I think EU needs to regulate advertisement industry to commit to the digital ethics. I don't know exactly how, but I mean, this has to be the digital rules that we have in our normal lives have to be applied to the digital world. We need to build on the privacy and develop the famous GDPR further to really support human-centric data economy and media innovation. In this regards, I thank my countrymen that I'm not somehow linked as such, but they are at least raising the efforts called My Data and human-centric data economy. We are talking about the digital human rights. And thirdly, we need to ensure independent funding. We need to create somehow some sort of clearinghouse to ensure independence-based funding for journalism, fact-checking, and media literacy. These are all practically some sort of public goods and need to be perceived for democracy. At large, EU needs urgently to join forces to safeguard democracy. As said, EU just about survived operational to deliver for these future challenges, and now it's time for action. I encourage interested MEPs, MEPs to establish the Media and Democracy Intergroup that has been promoted, I think, in many levels, just to kind of encounter these challenges, let's say, holistically. We need holistic approach, cooperation, and political will. The discussed intergroup could be a way to keep the fundamentally important media sector in the core of the democracy dialogue that is so crucial. And of course, intergroup next to EIF and many other networks needed. Thank you.